I talked to my second family about my memories, and then they was all trying to say maybe it's the past life. It wasn't like a thing for me thinking I'm mentally crazy. So it was just more of, that's interesting.
Real life. It ain't real life. Just say real life street stars. You know what time it is.
Well, I'm glad, again, to even, get this story is amazing as far as what implications to show.
Yeah.
So let's start at the end and let's work our way backwards. You, first and foremost, you yourself came out and said, hey, these are my parents.
Yeah.
How long were you in knowledge of that? How long were you feeling that? And also, what made you yourself come out and say it?
So these are memories I had, but I couldn't explain away. For my dad, I used to refer to him like the first guy, my first dad, until I got my other dad. But I used to didn't tell nobody. I didn't tell anybody because I'm like, it sounds crazy. Nobody gonna believe me if I said my first dad was R. Kelly. I used to sing his songs in music class, and he just left me after his trial, and then came my second dad, and he was there for a moment, and then he eventually had to go to his next work. So for having that kind of memories, and so it kind of made me not listen to his songs growing up as much. So I didn't know the magnitude of who he was as an artist, because I personally wasn't. It hurted me, it triggered me, and then it was the people around me didn't have the questions, or they had the answers to the question, they wasn't allowed to tell me it. Wow. So, and then from my mom, I remember seeing her on TV when I was like very young. Maybe I was 5 because my age range is different. So from the memories I do remember of seeing her on TV, and then my grandma saying not to say that, and then the waiver in the house that I mentioned. I was living in that house, and then we visited somebody's house. And then I see my mom on her video, More Than a Woman, and I'm like, there she go, like,
exactly.
Is this her? Like, she looked different. Her hair is different. And I'm like, it probably is her. And I'm like, this might be her. And then when she died, I wanted to differentiate her from the woman that I knew as my mom, and her to accept it better. So I just didn't say nothing, because I'll never see her again, because the type of relationship we had, she always kept her word. It took a long time sometimes, but she always, when she said she was coming. So I just held on to that faith, and then.
So, what we're saying here is, before even all the allegations and things of that nature, Robert Kelly, R. Kelly, he is one of the most, what people may say, talented, individuals in the R&B genre, or even in music genre in the past few decades. And for Aaliyah, for what she was going to be and what she was going to do in her life, she was one of the greats.
Yeah.
It has been confirmed that there was a relationship there.
Yeah.
They did, from what we've seen in like Surviving R. Kelly. I don't know if have you watched Surviving R. Kelly or anything like that?
No.
Don't even worry about watching it. But it was shown that yes, they were in a relationship. Leah's parents knew about it. There was possible unborn child. There was, they had romance. At their age, it was confirmed, at least through what we've seen in court documents as far as a marriage annulled.
Yep.
From what we know is that, no child was ever born of them. R. Kelly went off and, after he wrote her albums, went off and, did his thing. She went off and did her thing. But what we also know, back in the 90s, you're able to hide a lot of things. You could stay gone for 6 to 7 to 8, 9 months and not be seen by the public, or you only show them what you want them to see. Yeah. Back then, this is before social media. So it does make your story even more incredible, because it's like the possibility of it being there. So what I would ask you is, have you ever thought to verify the truth? Have anybody stopped you from trying to verify the truth? Have you attempted to verify the truth based on the memories that you've had?
Yes, I talked to my second family about my memories, and then they was all trying to say, maybe it's the past life. It wasn't like a thing for me thinking I'm mentally crazy. So it was just more of, that's interesting. And they kind of brushed it off a lot. They wasn't saying nothing. They didn't say, oh, it's not true. Oh, you're lying. They just said, interesting, or let me post something about my mom online. Then they look at it and then they just hand me back my phone or something. Like, it's not like, oh, do you believe me or believe that? It was nothing like that. So for people saying that, the media is saying that now, I didn't get that same energy. They made it, because they didn't try so hard to say, oh, it's not true, made me believe myself even more, because I'm like, this is the emotion. And then the emotion I have personally for my parents, it brings me to tears. It makes me feel away. And I'm not the type to move out of emotions as much or trying to actions. I'm more of a thinker. So me coming out is because I have some answers that I found myself, and I believe in myself, my heart.
So I have to ask you then, what made you want to share this information with the world? Because sometimes some people will know these things and they'll take it to their grave. Tell us what made you, and what did you expect after you brought it out to the world?
From the messages my mom left me in her songs, as far as 1 in a million, it's a code, it's a clue. I have a 1 in a million type of eye condition where it's a different pigment or it's different colored a little bit. So that's the 1 in a million type of eye disease. And also from Anastasia Steele. That's 50 Shades. Anastasia from the Anastasia movie, as far as her song. And then you see it was a girl that was adopted, and then she finally met her family. And also Erica Kane. It's All My Children character, where she had 2 daughters. One was adopted that she was raped by, sorry to say that word, but the R word from a famous person when she was 14 years old, and her mother, they gave the baby away for adoption and made sure not to bring it up. So eventually the girl would forget it.
Wow. So with that being said, with you coming out and, kind of letting the world know, you ruffled a lot of feathers where people were like, what? And like you said, normally people will shut down rumors immediately. These rumors haven't been shut down as even I would expect for them to be shut down, with proof showing that, anything is of the contrary of what you're saying. So what did you expect, even with coming out and saying this, or having these thoughts and having these feelings, and letting your memories out and kind of saying this? What did you expect the world? How did you expect the world to receive you?
The same way they're receiving it now. The same way. I thought about it. I'm like, I sound like I'm crazy. It's gonna be hard to prove, but I know from my heart and know what the world is capable of, and the fact that they went so hard to try to dispel what I've been saying. I felt like I needed people to see me, because they were doing that to me privately and nobody knew who I was. And I was kept trying to reach out and try to reach out.